Mr. Jack, aka Jack the Ripper, is out there in London, but in order to catch Jack you must first, through quite unique deduction mechanics, discover the identity of Jack and then confront him. The goal, if you're the investigator, is to confront Mr. Jack. If you're Mr. Jack, it's to escape London or last until the end of the game with no confrontation. Cost and value, this retails in Australia for around $60. If you're anything like me, this game is going to get played a lot and you will get a lot of game for your dollar. Players two, and it's not that often that a deduction mystery sort of game is playable with two, let alone specifically designed to suit two. The approximate time, you're looking 30 minutes on the box, that's about right. Your first few games may take longer as you get to know the character zone. So, how's it played?
I'll just start off by saying the rulebook is written quite well and has a great Q&A section that will answer a lot of your questions. So, what do we have here? The game board. We have the Whitechapel district on a series of hexes. The gaslights. You'll note a few numbered. These gaslights will shut off at the end of those turns. Gaslights are very important as they illuminate the hexes surrounding them as shown in the bottom left here. A player underneath a lit gaslight will have a witness. John Smith's special ability is he can move a lit gaslight to an unlit gaslight's hex. The police cordons block 2 of the 4 corner exits that Jack can escape from. The inspector's ability will allow you to move these cordons to block a different exit. The manhole covers. Players throughout the game will be able to duck down the sewers of the district and come back up another. The 2 manhole covers will block sewer exits. Jeremy Burt's ability will allow you to move a cover to an uncovered sewer. The remaining 5 characters are Sergeant Goodley, whose ability is he will blow a whistle moving characters closer towards him. Sir William Gull, who will exchange places with another player. Very useful. Sherlock Holmes, who will draw an alibi card. More on that later though. Miss Stealthy, who can pass impassable terrain and has an increased movement. John Watson holds a lamp. On his player's piece he has an arrow. The lamp shines in that direction in a straight line. If he was facing this direction, he would illuminate the following hexes. Any player in those hexes would now have a witness. So let's place the player's pieces. Okay, first thing. Mr. Jack will draw a card from the alibi deck. This is now the only character without an alibi. Therefore is Mr. Jack. The player playing Jack will hold on to this card. 4 of the character cards are now drawn, and characters will begin executing their special abilities and moving them. Turn order is a bit different. In the first turn, the detective will play 1 of the 4 of his choice and execute their actions. Mr. Jack will then play 2 of the remainder, one after the other. And then the detective will play the last one. The next turn will be done in the same format, but Jack will start, playing 1, the detective 2, then Jack again. As mentioned before, Sherlock Holmes' ability is to draw 1 of the remaining alibi cards. He then knows the character whose card was drawn is not Mr. Jack. Sherlock Holmes is a very useful character for both sides to play. Now the turn order may seem hard to keep track of, but there is on one side of the board a counter and track, which will show the order players select characters. The track also has the turn phases. The next step, the detective will put out a call. Is there a witness to Mr. Jack? A player has a witness if he is under a lit gaslight, in the path of Goodley's lamp, or standing next to another player. The players with witnesses are highlighted here. Mr. Jack has no witness, and he replies, no, there is no witness. Jack then places the witness card on the appropriate side. The detective now knows any player with a witness is not Mr. Jack and can rule them out from the investigation by turning their player pieces over. In the last phase, the first gaslight will shut off. Then it's Jack's go to start a new turn with the remaining 4 characters previously not played.
My thoughts. Mr. Jack is a fairly well recognised game and there are plenty of reviews and information out there. However, the main reason for this review is because I was not such a fan upon my first few games. In fact, it probably sat on my shelf for a good 12 months before I even introduced it to my gaming group. This was one of my earlier purchases when theme was enough to fork over money. Now, however, I put a bit more effort into researching mechanics and so forth before purchases. I only started enjoying this game after a number of plays with a friend who saw its full potential straight after his first play. After more and more games, I started enjoying it more and more. So what was I missing in the first few times? Well, I suppose it was getting to know the characters, and I don't mean their abilities as such. That came quite easily, but more how to use those abilities in such a way to create some real nail-biting moments and create tension and feelings of insecurity in both my opponent and myself. It pops up now and again as well in forums that it's a tad unbalanced and the game seems to favour the investigators, and I must admit I saw this too, and I saw it as an issue. It was not until I played with a friend who saw this not as an issue but a challenge, and we played a number of games one after the other, really trying to outdo each other as Mr. Jack, often leading to the opposition competing harder to stop Mr. Jack from getting further than he did in the last game. My rating increased immediately during these repeated sudden death matches, and I was kicking myself for not giving it a better go earlier. I now see that unbalanced element as sort of a welcome challenge in the game. Does Mr. Jack fill a gap in my collection? Yes. I'm always after good two-player games, and Mr. Jack is a really good one to have on my shelf. Mr. Jack for me, it's an 8.5 out of 10. Didn't start off that way though. Great game, good components, gets repeated plays, and it came with an unexpected lesson for me. Never judge a game after its first couple of plays.